Welcome to my show. This was supposed to be our first episode, but it is our second episode. Well, this is an introduction of the show, FQ, called 5 Questions. And I've outlined 5 questions for myself to answer to begin the show. So the first question is, who are you and what is FQ? So I am the founder of FQ, which is 5 Questions. My name is Mwana Kasale Muchimba, and I am an enthusiast when it comes to production, media, etc. And FQ is simply 5 questions. The letters FQ stand for 5 questions. And in itself, 5 questions are simply questions that I'm going to ask each and every guest who is going to come on my platform. So it'll be short in that sense, where we have specific questions for them. Why did you decide to start FQ? So why did I decide to start FQ? Well, I decided to start FQ based on dialogue. I think dialogue, in a sense, helps us reason. So these questions will help us reason together. So these questions will be questions that might probably be in your domain or outside of your domain, but most importantly, they should help us understand from other people's perspectives, what they think about it, what do they think about certain ideas, how those ideas can help us, in a sense, view life in a different way or view how we do things. The third question is, how will FQ be different from other shows? Well, FQ will be different from other shows. It's not a podcast. It's a semi-show in a sense. So it could be a podcast in a sense as well, but simply FQ is 5 simple questions that we're going to ask you. But how is it different? It's different in a sense that there are only 5 questions, and these questions should help us have a global idea on certain topics, right? So it'll be different, it'll be short, it won't be long. Well, some episodes might be longer due to probably follow-up questions, but this will be short, engaging, and of course it will be different in the sense that at the end of the show, I'll request the visitors, the guests, to ask certain questions of their own that they think could help others if were to answer them, or questions that they've been battling with. Right, but they won't be showcased on the show directly. You see those questions in the other shows. Of course, for example, if I have guest X, they'll give me the questions in private, then you'll be able to see them in the other episodes. What do you hope to achieve with FQ? Well, like I said, dialogue. What I hope to achieve is that from these simple questions, let me not call them simple, but these questions, I believe they could inspire someone to do certain things. Like I said, we're going to be focusing mainly on a particular domain that you are interested in. For example, we're talking about love. For example, we're talking about business. We're talking about religion and many other topics. So you might pick 1 or 2 things on what people think about certain questions, how to answer them. There's certain questions that even today are difficult to answer. But if you hear it from another person's view or perspective, it might inspire you to start something. So this show, in a sense, is also an inspiration. And also, I believe this is my dream, and I would love people to follow their dreams. So this is what I'm hoping to achieve. A dialogue that will help us reason and, of course, change our perspective for the better. And finally, who can we expect to see on FQ? And what kind of questions will you ask? Oh, like I said, the kind of questions that I'll ask are vast. There's no specific domain, different domains, different concepts. Like I said, there'll be a time of love, a time of business, a time of many other topics. So expect more. Expect things that are actually going to help you, things that you've always thought about. Who can we expect? Everyone. I don't just limit this show to people who've made it, people who we call the trailblazers of our time. I want this to be open to any person. So my vision is that at some point in time, I might even just go in the street, put a microphone there, and have questions laid down. People can choose from a basket certain questions and they would answer. There are certain things that don't necessarily need people to be of high esteem for them to answer certain questions. We also want to know, even from the low ends, even from people who are struggling, who are starting, what is their ideology on certain topics? What do they think? How are their struggles? How are they managing? What is it that they are doing currently to combat whatever challenges they are going through? So those are some of the ideas that I had as regards to who you expect to see on the show. So any person will be on this show. And thank you so much for watching till this far. If this is the content that will interest you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and of course share it. I believe that sharing is caring. Thank you so much. My name is Mwana Kasele Muchimba. Cheers.